What is going on, guys? Welcome to Gregos TV. We have the Galaxy S21 Fan Edition versus the Galaxy S21 Ultra. This phone starts off at $700. This phone, more or less, unless you can find a deal, starts off at $1199. This is the 256 gig version with 12 gigs of RAM. This is the 128 gig version with 6 gigs of RAM. Now, you can get this in a 256 with 8 gigs of RAM, and you get this in a 256 with 12 gigs of RAM, but ultimately that would push this price up to $1299, about that, unless you get a deal of some sort. But with that said, these phones have a lot of the similar stuff. They have the same processor, the Snapdragon 888. They have very similar camera setup, except this does have 108 megapixel on the back, but probably, and a lot of people probably won't even change it to that. You have to physically go in there and change it to that. But otherwise, these phones are somewhat similar. There's more stuff probably similar or close to similar than not. And there's a huge price difference at the same time. It's like a $400 or $500 price difference between these two phones. This phone is made of plastic, which I don't mind at all. It's not going to break. It's completely fine. And the Galaxy S21 Ultra obviously is made of like this, metal, I guess you'd call it, on the back. This does feel more premium on the S21 Ultra, but this feels great as well. The other big difference with these phones is they have, this one has a flat display. This one has more of a rounded display. I personally prefer flat displays. It feels like you get a little bit more screen area. I just like it better, but this is obviously a little bit easier to hold, even though it's a bigger display, 6.8 versus 6.4. This is a little bit easier to probably hold just because it's a little bit more rounded. Those edges make phones a little bit easier to hold. Both have cameras at the top and the middle of the display. Both have fingerprint sensors. The Galaxy S21 Ultra fingerprint sensor, they put an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor on the S21 Ultra, which I don't really care for either one of these fingerprint sensors. I didn't really notice maybe either one working, much better than the other. I don't know. Maybe this one works a little bit better, but ultimately I don't like fingerprint sensors underneath the displays. It's a cool effect. It's cool that it's hidden, but I'd rather have it on either the side of the phone or the back, or have secure Face ID. These obviously don't have secure Face ID like the iPhone, nor do they have fingerprint sensors on the side or the back. Also, design-wise, these are basically very similar. You get the power button and the volume keys just above. You get nothing at the top, nothing on the sides pretty much. And then at the bottom, these both have stereo speakers, USB-C ports, and they do not have, neither one of these have extra micro SD card expansion storage. So if you love that, neither of these phones have that. Let's just do a little speed test here. The S21 Fan Edition has the same processor as this one, but the big difference is only 6 gigs of RAM. This has 12 gigs of RAM. So we'll see, just opening up apps on a daily basis if things will be a little bit different. Let's open up the Google Play Store. See, S21 Ultra beat it just by a slight margin. Let's open up YouTube. Let's go to Google here. We'll open up YouTube. 1, 2, 3. And not signed in, but basically looks like the S21 Fan Edition beat it. Instagram. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And S21 Fan Edition beat it. Or Galaxy Play Store, I should say. S21 Ultra. So you can see, just opening up apps, they're both really, really close. You're not going to see a lot of differences. Where you're going to see differences is this phone will leave apps open longer than this phone because of all that RAM, and potentially run a little bit better overall as more apps are opened and things like that. So performance-wise, just opening up apps, you'd probably still give it to the S21 Ultra, but not by a huge margin. Next would be cameras. These basically have the same camera setup of features and software that you would love and know. They both have single take, which allows you to capture the best photo. You have your regular photo mode. That's portrait, actually. Portrait's over here. You got video. Both of these can do 4K 60 video on the front and the back. You got night mode. Night mode's over here. Pro mode, super slow-mo, portrait mode, portrait video, all that stuff. And that's it's basically the same across the board with both of these phones. I think the only big difference is this has director's view, so you can choose between the 3 different lenses. This only has dual recording. That would really, again, be the biggest difference in terms of features for each camera. But let's check out some photos and videos that I took with both of these phones. here we go, Galaxy S21 Fan Edition with the selfie front camera recording 4K 30. Check out the stabilization. Now we're looking at the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Gonna turn around. Don't want to hit the sun yet. I'll do that in another video, but this gives you an indication of what they look like when you're walking in hand in front of you with both of the S21 Fan Edition and of the Galaxy S21 Ultra. And then here's a little panning video. You can see my dog Shoko. That's right, Shoko, S-H-O-K-O. She's a mini schnauzer and she's 7 years old. And I'll jump to this 3. So there you go. That way you can see if one looks better than the other. Wide, ultra wide, ultra wide. We'll walk a little bit, why not? Check this out. You can see some plants on the ground. We'll go back to 1. And also, don't forget about the microphones on these. That way you can see which one sounds better. A lot of mud out here. We need to get our sprinkler fixed. There's like a damaging effect going on that it broke. A couple trees here. I'll show them off. This that's not a tree actually. That is a orange tree right there. We'll 3x into it. I just bought that this past summer. It's doing pretty well. It's already produced some oranges. And then we have an avocado tree as well. Avocado tree is right here. Looks really crappy right now, but yeah, that's an avocado tree. There's Shoko again. I don't know, which one do you think looks and sounds better? All right, so we have both of these phones. Both of them have their volumes maxed out completely. There you go. It's already maxed out. There you go. Both maxed out. So let's do a little speaker test between these two phones. Start off with Make It in Time.
I really wanted to get it right. Trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight. I really wanted to get it right. Trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight.
S21 Ultra, without a doubt, beat it in loudness and overall better quality of sound. But this doesn't sound awful, nor does it sound quiet, but this is definitely much louder. Let's go to Flaw next. Yeah, I think, again, quality of the sound, they both sound similar in terms of the quality of it, but loudness, definitely the S21 Ultra. If I had to choose speakers for this, definitely the S21 Ultra. Now, in terms of displays, both of these have really, really nice displays. The S21 Ultra is double the resolution versus this. So you're looking at 2K plus with this versus 1080p plus with the S21 Fan Edition. Both of them run at 120 hertz. Both of them also are pretty bright. That the S21 Ultra is definitely brighter. So if you need a brighter display, you're gonna wanna go with the S21 Ultra, and also has better looking display overall. You're not gonna probably notice day to day, like just looking at these two, but you know, there is a slight difference in terms of the quality and stuff like that. Both of them are OLED displays, but if I had to give it to the winner just in terms of looks, you'd probably choose this one for sure. But again, when you're just looking at these displays, you're not gonna know. If I didn't tell you, hey, that's all that much brighter and has a higher resolution, you probably wouldn't even know. All right, so I have both displays running right now, playing one of my videos. Both of them are playing it in 4K. I'm looking at both these, and I recorded my video in 4K and edited it and uploaded it in 4K. Just taking a look at either one of these, the color temperatures are very similar. This does look maybe a little bit more red than this, than the Ultra. It's very tough to see quality-wise which one looks better or worse. You know, maybe, I don't know, it's very close. It's very hard to see, especially on displays this small. Both of them look excellent. Both of them get nice and bright. But again, knowing what I know, that this is a better display on the Ultra, you'd have to give it the win. But again, if I showed this to your mom and dad or your grandparents or girlfriend or your boyfriend, they probably wouldn't even know if they didn't know which phone was which. So both of these phones are absolutely excellent. Now, if you're a person that just uses social media, wants a decent camera, wants a good performing phone, doesn't want to pay top dollar and watches videos and just does the basics of your phone, this is going to be absolutely fine for you to purchase the Galaxy S21 Ultra. The screen is nice and big for the most part. It's flat. It's got a beautiful display. The camera works pretty good. The speakers are decent. The performance is decent. There's really not a lot to not like about this phone, but if you want the best of the best of the best, and probably the best that Samsung put out in 2021 in terms of overall for everything, you'd want to get this phone. This phone is also a lot heavier than the S21 Fan Edition. Not so much to where you're going to feel, complete hand fatigue. At least I don't. But yeah, it's really all personal preference. If you're looking to save money and you just want a really solid, good phone, get the S21 Fan Edition. But if you know you absolutely need and want the best, get the S21 Ultra. There you guys go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road. Peace.